Shut up and sit down.
Oh, hello and welcome to a North Wales side-by-side video. And I'm in the workshop tonight with my project Padfoot, my MR2. And what I want to bring to your attention tonight is problems with aftermarket parts, particularly this brand of handbrake cables for the MR2 Pagid. They are a massive concern in the aftermarket. Not only in the aftermarket, these are a supplier to the OE manufacturers. They supply Volkswagen, Audi, Porsche, Lamborghini, BMW, Mercedes, Hyundai, Opel. They're a massive concern in the motor industry. So, with that in mind, you would think this company could design an aftermarket cable that fitted straight out of the packet. Well, I'm going to tell you straight away, they don't make a cable that fits straight out of the packet onto a Toyota MR2. This cable will not fit straight out the box. You have to be willing to do some modifications to this cable. And I'm going to show you what the modifications are. And you shouldn't have to do this. If you buy something, it doesn't matter whether it's brand new, OE, brand new aftermarket. In reality, you should be able to take a genuine cable that's come to the end of its life, maybe stretched or seized up. This one works, but because I'm changing both, and the other one was seized up, I'm doing them both. So that's the driver's side handbrake cable off my MR2. Passenger one, seized up solid. It's the only reason why I'm changing both. Imagine this scenario now. You've taken your MR2 in for an MOT. They fail it on the handbrake. And they tell you your handbrake cables are seized or bound up. So, like me, you're thinking, right, how much are they off Toyota? A brand new one of them off Toyota, I can tell you now, is £120 including the VAT, and you have to wait 2 days for it to arrive. That's £240 for 2 cables. I bought a brand new genuine Toyota Crossmember for the back of this MR2 for less money than that. And there's more engineering in the Crossmember than a bloody brake cable. So I went down the route that everybody does. Pagid's a big name in the motor industry, so you think, yep, great, I'm going to get a quality component that's going to go straight onto the car. No, it is not going to fit. So if you go and buy a set of these expecting to change them in an evening, I'm afraid it's not happening. You've got modifications to do just to make them fit. Let me show you the first problem. And this one is really annoying. Let's have a look at the old Toyota cable. That's the old Toyota cable. And if you look at that nipple, it's perfectly round. Every which way you look at this nipple, even in that orientation, it's round. There's the end of it. It's perfectly round. I'll show you where that fits in a second. Now then, you get the Pagid one and you look at it, and straight away, what can you see there? Seen it? sticking out to the end of the cable, there we are, is a piece of cable. That is your first problem. That will stop you putting that nipple into it'll stop you putting it into there. You won't get it into here because that's a perfectly round hole designed for the toter cable and it won't fit. What I've had to do to the other Padgett cable, and I've got to do a little bit more, as you can see that one doesn't stick out quite so much, but I still need to trim it a little bit more. You've got to get the angle grinder out and take the top of the cable off and make it flush with the nipple, just so it fits into there. So that's your first problem you're going to come across. I don't think that's good. You've got one other option if you haven't got a grinder, and that is to file a slot in here so that piece of cable that sticks out can go in, but you shouldn't have to do that. That's my first issue with the Padgett cable. The nipple doesn't fit where it's meant to fit. Right, my second issue is this rubber boot. That's the rubber boot that seals the cable where it goes through the bulkhead up behind the fuel tank. And when I say I spent half an hour last night trying to get that to locate, I am not joking. The rubber is way too hard. You cannot manipulate it to get it to go through the body, and then to locate in that gap in the metalwork. You'll get it 3/4 of the way in, and as you think, oh great, I've cracked it, it pops out somewhere else. I tried it with silicone spray. I tried heating it up with the hot air gun to make it a little bit softer. Couldn't do it. So I resorted to sliding the original boot off the original cable. As you can see, this is, I can squash that in my hand. It is lovely and soft. It's that supple, it'll slide on and down onto the cable. And this rubber is so soft and malleable, it actually fits perfectly. Fits in the bulkhead like that. Cable goes through there. What I did was I fitted that to the car first. Then I pushed the cable through it and it stayed put. It did not move. It's daft. So that's issue number 2. That's only 2 of the problems. There's one more problem with this handbrake cable, and it's the bracket. It's this bracket here. That's the bracket that fits up behind the fuel tank that's bolted on. Now the problem with that bracket is the length of that. It's not long enough. You can't use that bracket. And I'll tell you why you can't use that bracket. The bolt that goes through there also locates a solid brake pipe, but this goes up against the bulkhead in that orientation and slides behind the brake pipe. Because the brake pipe's got a bracket on it, the brake pipe bracket then falls on that corner, and then the hole in the brake pipe bracket and the hole in this bracket don't line up, and they're out by about 8mm. So that bracket doesn't work either. What you have to do is take the Toyota bracket off your original cable and reuse it. Let me get that bracket out of there, because this is the bracket off the other cable, and I'll show you the difference. Okay, prop it up against the torch. Then we've got the Toyota one. If I lay them in the same position, I think that shows how far out the hole is. It's miles out. There's no way you can use that bracket. You have to reuse Toyota's bracket on this Paget cable. So you're going to need to save that bracket, save the boot, and modify the end of the cable. To me, that is disgusting that a so-called original equipment manufacturer can get the design of the cable so drastically wrong. It is horrendous. It makes you wonder sometimes, is it worth buying aftermarket parts? If I'd have gone down the Toyota route and spent £240 on cables rather than the £80, including them two little brackets, that's all it cost me, the two Paget cables, £80 including them, against 240, you can see why people go down the aftermarket route. I just want to bring it to everybody's attention. Beware. You will need to do modifications to these Paget cables. Where we stand on the other aftermarket cables, I don't know. But if you buy genuine Toyota and you're in a rush, get the Toyota ones. If you desperately need your car back on the road, get the Toyota cables. If you're pushed and you need to use your car in a day or two, get the Toyota ones. They're going to fit perfectly, they're going to bolt on, there's going to be no issues. I wouldn't be making this video to warn the rest of you about this problem if Paget had done their job properly and made these cables to the same specifications that Toyota do. Yeah, it wouldn't be happening. You get the idea. You've got to snip it off. There we go. You've got no choice. That one, it's so nice and supple. It's like a little. These are working. Oh no, you've got to knock this out now. There you go. Toyota boot. That's the boot you want, fitted. Not that one. Bin it. Let's move up to the vice. Let me show you how to get this bracket off. Clamp it in the vice. Roll it out, cable off. Get your Toyota bracket. We know the orientation is that. That's the orientation. You just open it up, slide it over. That's it. Now you're ready to go. That will, I guarantee you, that bracket, that rubber boot, that modification to the end of the cable, that cable's going to fit. It just winds me up that an OE manufacturer of Paget stature cannot get the simplest things on the planet right. It's just crazy. All for the sake of not getting that right. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Yep, absolutely stupid. Them 3 mods, I guarantee that cable will now fit. Hey, I know it's been a long video, but I think this is an important video to warn anybody of the pitfalls of buying these particular Paget aftermarket handbrake cables for an MR2 Mark III. Roadster, Spider, whatever you want to call it. Be aware, out the box or out the packet, they don't fit. Be prepared to modify them. Now you've watched the video, don't be scared to buy them, just be prepared to do what I've showed you. Trim the cable, put the Toyota boot back on, put the Toyota bracket on, and you'll be okay. They'll fit in that respect after that. But you shouldn't have to do it. End of story, it should not happen. You should be able to buy any part for any car of any good aftermarket supplier, and it should fit straight away with no modifications. You wouldn't want to buy a set of brake pads and have to file the ears on a brake pad to make them fit your calipers, would you? No, you expect them to fit. I expect aftermarket cables to fit. As simple as that. End of story. This is bad engineering on Paget's part. I am going to tell the gentleman I bought the cables from. I'm going to share parts of the video with him, and I'm also going to get in touch with Paget, and I'm going to get in touch with their customer support people, and I'm going to tell them about this problem and see if I get anything back off them. I'll let you know in the future. Anyhow, long video, I know. It's 24 minutes long. Important information has been revealed here. Thanks for watching. Please click like, please subscribe. Helps the channel a lot. Thank you very much.